All right, next. Styx, Hex, and a Hammer. Styx, Hex, and Hammer, as a quick recap, was once a very, very popular political commentator. How he achieved this is a mystery to the entire world. But after Trump was elected, he was one of the foremost political commentators on the internet. He had thousands and thousands of viewers watching him for his hot takes as a based libertarian gigachad who wore leather for some reason. Over time, his popularity waned because people discovered that his takes actually suck. And he is a faggot that worships a gay demon named Stolas. And he has little cartoon character drawings of Stolas in his house. Styx also became a alcoholic. He drinks perpetually. He drinks alcohol live on stream. He drinks alcohol secretly live on stream. And then he went down to, he gropes his girlfriend in the most uncomfortable video ever put on the fucking internet, live on stream because he's drunk and a retard. So then he goes down to Nollings with a girlfriend and he has a little bit of a kerfuffle and he chucks his telephone, his cell phone at his girlfriend. Now he says that he was simply throwing his phone. She demanded to see proof if he was cheating on her, and he was. And when she looked at his phone, she saw evidence that he was cheating on her. And then when she became upset, he became very upset himself and he chucked his phone. Now, his story is that it was a complete accident. But he did peg her with his phone. Now, apparently, while he was drunk and throwing his phone around, he said that he had a Glock on him. So he was carrying a firearm during this confrontation. And he said, "No, stalker child, if I was actually trying to have a domestic, I would have simply shot her or brandished my weapon. I could not have possibly intended to cause her any distress." Like, that was his actual defense, and I'll play the video in a second. Then, so he got arrested. She called 911. The police showed up and like, you can't be chucking shit at your spouse and shit. That is a DV. And so he was arrested and spent a weekend in jail, where Jeremy Hambley was the one he had to call with his one phone call to get bailed out of jail, because apparently he just doesn't have enough money on his fucking own to post his own bond. So Hambley bailed him out, and then he returned to New Hampshire, I believe, or Vermont, one of those two states, and has been going through the judicial proceedings for the last couple months. Now, at some point, the prosecutor in his case committed suicide, which Styx took as evidence that his chaos and this is not a joke. If you like, I always like to imagine what somebody's thinking if they're listening to this stream for the first time, because it must just sound like I'm making shit up. So this guy who's like a dark wizard, he believes in he doesn't believe in prayer. He believes in chaos magic. So you start like envisioning bad things happening to your enemies, and then your gay owl demon Stolas like makes your wishes come true, because you sold your soul to the demons or whatever. And he was wishing bad things to happen to his prosecutor, and then he killed himself. And then later, New Orleans got hit with snow, I want to say, and it was like this historic storm. And he was like very smugly talking about how his chaos magic was causing people to commit suicide, and to cause New Orleans to be blanketed with snow because of his supreme magic and stuff. It's called chaos magic or some shit. He actually believes this. I'm not joking. The ruling has finally come in after much anticipation. He was tried by judge, by Zoom. Defendant Tarl Warwick appeared represented by Jared Bradley. The defendant elected for trial by judge, and I'm not sure why. I know you have a right to a jury. I'm not sure if there's like considerations when you have a misdemeanor trial, or if you have to pay for a jury in a misdemeanor trial. Because if you want a jury trial in a civil case, I think you have to pay for it, even though you have a right to ask for it. So he might have decided that he didn't want to pay for a jury trial in a misdemeanor. That's my speculation. I'm not a lawyer, but that's what I'm thinking. Because otherwise, why the fuck would you get a bench trial? Generally, you never win a bench trial ever, and you should basically always invoke your right to a jury trial. So Eva Ripple represented the state. female judge in a DV case and you elect for a bench trial. Now you guys know how I am. I'm a good boy, okay? I don't think evil misogynist thoughts, right? But I wouldn't. I wouldn't do that. That would not be my choice, chat. If I was in this situation and I was having a little bit of conversation with Stolas about what to do, all right, I would not choose this. Defense requested sequestering of witnesses. State requested sequestering of witnesses. State evidence, rebuttal. The judge's verdict for defendant Charlie Warwick, domestic abuse battery, first offense. Defendant found guilty by judge. The defendant was issued and signed a protective order. Defendant to appear via Zoom for sentencing on July 15th. Victim to give impact statement via Zoom. Notified defense counsel. Charles Warwick, Styx, Hex and Hammer 666. Despite the chaos magic of the gay owl demon Stolas, was no match for our boy Jesus. And Jesus has found him guilty of domestic abuse battery. So let's talk about the righteous punishment coming. This is from an attorney website out of Louisiana that I found that explains what the possible consequences for being found of domestic abuse battery in Louisiana are. A fine between $300 and $1,000, jail time for 30 days to 6 months, which is almost always going to be deferred as probation or parole or whatever. You know how that works. However, the statute does say mandatory 48 hours in jail. But don't get too excited because when he was arrested, as I mentioned, he didn't have the money to post his own bond. So he had to beg the quartering to post his bond for him. And so he actually spent more than 2 days in jail when he was arrested. So even if he gets 2 days in jail as a sentence, he already has his time served. And almost always, I'm not familiar with Louisiana 100%, and they are a little bit weird because they're French. Chances are he's going to get time served. But it is possible that the Honorable Judge Eva might give him a week of jail time. And then he would have to, I don't know how that works. If you have a week of jail time and you live in New Hampshire and you're sentenced in New Orleans, does that mean that can you like turn yourself into a local jail in New Hampshire, or do you have to actually pay travel expenses to go to jail in New Orleans for a week? I imagine they have something where you can go to jail in New Hampshire for 5 days or whatever, and you don't have to pay to go to New Orleans to serve your time. I'm not sure how that works. But that's what he's facing. As always, please consult the graph. Nothing ever happens. Probably not going to jail, but he might. However, as even though nothing ever happens, there is something that has happened. Now, he's a base libertarian, Giga Chad demon worshiper, chat. And when you think of base libertarian demon worshipers, what do you think of? Asian wives and guns. That is basically the only facets of the libertarian identity that are consistent. So there's a little caveat in United States law. The Second Amendment affords all American citizens the right to keep and bear arms. However, we have yielded a couple of Second Amendment rights over time to certain laws that, as the Constitution states, no freedom shall be abridged without due process. So if you've been convicted of certain crimes, you lose certain rights. And there is a federal statute that means if you get convicted of domestic abuse, even a misdemeanor, in any state, you permanently, irrevocably lose your right to keep and bear arms. So after this verdict, he will be ordered to turn in his weapons to his local sheriff, and he will never get them back. And the reason for this is that the number one cause of murder in the United States, deliberate murder, is a domestic partner shooting his wife. Or girlfriend or ex-wife or baby mama. That's if you're listen, if women were animals, if women were dogs, yeah, the natural predator of the woman would be her boyfriend. That is just how it works. So in the United States, we do take people's weapons away if they are convicted of any sort of domestic crime, including domestic abuse, battery, first offense, misdemeanor. So it's over. He lost his guns, which means that he will only be half a libertarian, a cursed libertarian. He will live a libertarian life, but only half a libertarian life. Because what is the purpose, chat? Wait, hold up. Chat, I ask you a question, okay? What is even the purpose of being a libertarian if you can't do this? I don't even know. It's a great question, chat. Okay. People get mad at me doing. I haven't shot it yet. I know there's no bullets or shells in the gun because I've not shot it yet. I'll have to get around to that. It's harder to find a range that lets you use shotguns than it is to find one that lets you use a rifle, chat, or a handgun. You have to go to certain ranges for that. Of course, once I have actually fired it, I will never risk the dreaded ND. I don't know what a desk pop is. Stop asking me that. I don't know what that means. All right. Oh, there's a video to play of Mr. Stolas himself lamenting his life. Actually, he's not lamenting his life. He's coping and seething. You ready?
All right, everyone, getting out in front of it. Yes, I was found guilty of battery just earlier in the New Orleans Parish Courthouse. And I disagree with some of the evidence that was allowed at trial. Let's just put it that way. Thankfully, now that the case is over, I'm allowed to actually explain my side of the story before somebody else is allowed to explain theirs. I'm sure that there will be 1,000 rumors swirling, and the people that don't like me, they'll be talking all sorts of shit about me. First and foremost, this does not involve my wife. It does not involve beating anyone. I did not punch anyone. I did not draw a gun on anyone. I did not hit anyone with a baseball bat or any of these things. What happened is this. I was inebriated in a hotel room with my ex-girlfriend. And we got into a bit of a squabble because she was texting with another dude, and I believed that she was cheating on me, or at least, at least digitally. And she handed the phone to me, and what I saw was, questionable in nature. I later found out this is ex post facto, so it's not evidence pertinent
Oh,
to
I got
this
that
case.
wrong. I thought that he was cheating on her. It's the other way around. He's a cock. He's a cock. He's a gunless cock, chat. What the fuck? This just keeps getting worse.
Found out she did send him nudes.
I have a question for anyone who's familiar with Wiccan or dark chaos magic. Can Stolas prevent you from becoming a cuckold? I need this for scientific purposes.
I'm not going to name her, by the way, because that's not necessary or proper or potentially even legal. Anyway, I tossed the phone back onto the bed, but because I was inebriated, it accidentally hit her in the side. Now, I've been found guilty of battery. Under Louisiana statute, you should be able to show intent in order for that charge to stick. Of course, unfortunately,
what he's complaining about is that he's saying he threw the phone and the phone hit her, which is all it takes. In case you're wondering, all battery is, especially in DV charges, is you physically contacted somebody against their will in a aggressive or violent manner. That's it. And DV charges are very strict because people in domestic violence situations are extremely annoying, and the police and state legislators don't like dealing with them because they're so fucking annoying. So if you call in a domestic violence charge, almost always somebody gets arrested. Either you're getting arrested for abuse of 911 or they're getting arrested for battery. So you can't call 911 to show you're serious. And then when the police show up, they go, oh, he good boy. He didn't do nothing. Oh, man, we sorted it out, officer. Like either you're going to jail or they're going to jail. Somebody's going to fucking jail. That's how it works. And the domestic violence charges are usually extremely cut and dry. Do you have a partnership with this person? Do you live together? Yes. Okay. So we don't have to decide if you're boyfriend, girlfriend, or married or anything like that. It's, do you live together? Yes. Okay. You're domestic. Did you make physical contact with them in a way that was violent? You threw your phone and it hit her. Battery. Domestic abuse, battery. That's it. That's all you have to prove. And the reason why is because they don't want to get into court, because this shit happens all the fucking time. Be like, oh, I didn't mean it. I was just throwing my phone, and she's not even my girlfriend anyway, so she can't be my domestic partner because she's not my girlfriend. Sure, we live together and we have sex, but we're not boyfriend, girlfriend. So she's not, like, courts don't want to deal with this trash shit, Jerry Springer fucking nonsense. Live together, battery. All it takes. And he's complaining that there was not intent, but even if he didn't intend to hit her with the phone, he intended to throw the phone. And when you throw a phone at somebody, you are intending to do so. And if you hit them, it's then battery with intent. Because you should know, as the mens res or whatever, the Latin word for the criminal mind, you know that when you throw something towards somebody, there's a chance you're going to hit them. So that's all they have to show. Did you throw the fucking phone? Did it throw at them? Yes, you have intent. So he's complaining like, I didn't actually mean to hit her. Well, bitch, did you throw the fucking phone at her? Yes, you had intent, retard. That's how it works.
I was found guilty anyway, probably because I have a penis, honestly. I did not intend to harm my ex. I did not materially threaten her, despite the fact that I had a Glock 17 on my fucking hip. That never happened. I did not beat anyone. I did not brandish a weapon. I did not do anything like that. So I'm just getting out ahead and saying, I am not a violent individual. I am not an insane individual. Well, I may be insane, but not, in the criminal sense, and so forth. So I just wanted to make that clear before all of the rumors begin circulating. Yeah, which I'm sure that they will. Oh, Kino Casino's gonna have a fucking field day with this once they read OPSEC. Go have at it. It's all good. So just to be clear about the actual facts of the case, I should not have been found guilty under Louisiana state statute, but I chose not to testify, and I believe that that was probably a bad decision because I could have explained all this before.
This fucking retard, this absolute fucking imbecile thinks that if he went in front of a Louisiana female judge presiding over a domestic abuse situation and just explained his side of the story, he would be off scot-free. She would go, oh, so you didn't mean to hit her with the phone? Ah, geez, dude, I guess that means you get to walk free. Bang, bang. This motherfucker would be locked up for life for attempted murder. He tried to drive that phone through her fucking skull.
For the court in literally less than 4 minutes. Whoops. Oh, well, it doesn't really matter. Since my sentencing is via Zoom call, I'm assuming I'm probably getting probation. Anyways, I wish the alleged victim well. Do your own thing. Leave me alone, basically. That's basically all I can say. And dudes out there, please, be careful about who you date. Just saying. That's about all.
Well, I think we can agree with that one,
Peace out.
Styx. Don't make bad penis decisions. Bad penis decisions are bad life decisions, chat. And don't throw your phone at your girlfriend. Don't commit domestic abuse, battery, chat. It's a bad idea. That's it for Stolas.
Thank you for watching this clip. This is Perspicacity. Remember to like and subscribe.